When one talks about the textbooks of yoga, probably the first names that come to mind are works like Patanjali Yoga Sutras, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Yoga Vasishtham, Brahma Sutras, and so on. But very few people actually realize that almost every ancient work of Sanskrit literature is a textbook on yoga. The literal meaning of the word yoga is union or harmony, not as a thought or a philosophy that one thinks up in the head. Yoga is about realizing the underlying unity that already exists in all of creation and being established in that experience of truth. Be it the practice of yogic postures, breathing exercises, chants, or meditations, the objective of all of these methods and practices, called as yoga sadhana, is to enhance one's perception and bring about this experience of the underlying unity of creation. Right from the Vedas and the Upanishads, the texts of Tantra and Agama Shastras, the treatises on Natya and Sangeeta, the subjects of Ayurveda and Siddha, to various Puranas and even the Kavyas of eminent Kavis like Kalidasa, all of these texts were structured to impart this experience in a human being. All of the above mentioned texts might differ in the path that they take and the methods that they offer, but realizing one's unity with the existence around, which is the real meaning of the word yoga, lies as an undercurrent in all these works. In fact, one of the most profound textbooks on yoga disguises itself as a beautiful song of the divine called as the Bhagavad Gita. Having established this background firmly, in this video, let's explore the 4 most popular Sanskrit textbooks of yoga. These books have gained such popularity as being the textbooks of yoga because of the straightforward instructions and insights they offer into the state of yoga and yoga sadhana. We will look at the various chapters of these books and briefly explore the topics that they cover. You can click on these timestamps in the description below to skip or rewatch specific segments of this video. The Sanskrit channel is an effort to explore a vast variety of topics from original Sanskrit literature. If you wish to support this effort, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution through these options. Your support will help us create more of these videos more frequently on more number of topics. Do check out all the links in the description below. The first of these ancient Sanskrit texts on yoga is the Yoga Sutras by sage Patanjali. If you watched this video, you'd already know that a sutra is a highly abridged concept. Sage Patanjali codified the entire essence of yoga into 195 such sutras. They are arranged into 4 sections by the name of Samadhi Padaha, Sadhana Padaha, Vibhuti Padaha, and Kaivalya Padaha. The first section, Samadhi Padaha, contains 51 sutras where sage Patanjali defines the state of yoga and outlines the process of attaining to that state. This section also contains the definitions of various states of samadhi that one can attain to and the type of sadhana that leads one to such states. The next section, called Sadhana Padaha, contains 55 sutras which describe the practices pertaining to yoga. The literal meaning of sadhana is a tool or an instrument. The sutras of Sadhana Pada talk about different kinds of approach to yoga, various obstacles one might face in that approach, and the many methods through which one can overcome such obstacles. The third section, called Vibhuti Padaha, also contains 55 sutras. The word Vibhuti literally means a special state of being. It is used to denote various attainments and powers one can unlock along one's journey towards yoga. Sage Patanjali lists out these powers and also mentions that these powers themselves can be an obstacle in one's progress towards reaching the final objective. Finally, the 4th section, called Kaivalya Padaha, contains 34 sutras. In this chapter, sage Patanjali describes the final state of attainment of absolute union with all of creation. Since in this state one perceives no more separation between oneself and the other, this state is known by the name of Kaivalya, which comes from the root word Kevala, meaning just one or single. Each sutra of the Patanjali Yoga Sutras also works as a mantra which, when meditated upon repeatedly, reveals the very essence contained in it. The next Sanskrit textbook of yoga we shall look at is the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, authored by Swami Swatma Rama. It is a more practice-oriented book which details the techniques corresponding to yoga sadhana. This text is composed of 383 shlokas split into 4 chapters called as Upadeshas. The first chapter, called Prathamopadeshaha, contains 62 shlokas and deals with the prerequisites of embarking on yoga sadhana and details some of the most effective physical postures or asanas. The second chapter, called Dvitiyopadeshaha, has 77 shlokas and deals with the process of pranayama or exercising the life energies, and the 6 processes of purification called as Shat Karmas. The third chapter, called Tritiyopadeshaha, which has 130 shlokas, deals with various mudras and their benefits, while the fourth chapter, called as Chaturthopadeshaha, with 114 shlokas, deals with the theoretical concepts of yoga, including the processes of dharana, dhyana and samadhi. The next Sanskrit textbook on yoga, Gheranda Samhita, also focuses on more practical aspects of yoga sadhana. It consists of 351 shlokas split across 7 sections, each of which describes each of the 7 progressive steps towards attaining to the state of yoga. In the 10th and the 11th shlokas of this book, the narrator, sage Gheranda, describes these 7 stages as follows. Shatkarmanam shodhanancha asanena bhaved dridham mudraya sthirata chaiva pratyaharena dhirata pranayamal laghavancha dhyanat pratyakshamatmani samadhina nirliptancha muktireva na samshayah. This means, through the practice of Shat Karmas, purification comes about, and through the practice of asanas, it is strengthened. Through the practice of mudras, steadiness comes about, and through pratyahara, composure. Through the practice of pranayama, lightness and buoyancy comes about, and through dhyana, the perception of the self. And finally, as the 7th step, through samadhi, one attains to non-entanglement and without a doubt attains to liberation. The last Sanskrit text we shall look at is the most famous Yoga Vasishtham, composed by sage Valmiki. It is a conversation between Lord Rama and his guru, sage Vasishtha. This text is in fact larger than the entire Valmiki Ramayanam itself, with a grand total of 32,000 shlokas. These shlokas are divided into 6 sections called prakaranas. While this text doesn't exactly provide specific details of yoga sadhana, it is much more comprehensive in terms of a spiritual seeker's journey towards the pursuit of truth, starting from the first chapter called Vairagya Prakaranam, or the section on dispassion, to attaining to unity with existence at the end in the 6th section called as Nirvana Prakaranam, or the section on dissolution. It also contains the life stories of various people in history who attained to the state of yoga and the critical life choices they had to make to get there. In conclusion, while the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali capture the theoretical concepts of yoga, Hatha Yoga Pradipika and Gheranda Samhita delve into the practical details of yoga sadhana. Finally, Yoga Vasishtham delves into the deeper dimensions of life itself and how people established in yoga handle difficult life situations. As I mentioned in the very beginning, there are many other such texts which impart the knowledge and practice of yoga in their own ways. We in fact covered a few of these texts already, including concepts from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, and of course the entire playlist on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I'll include recommended links to all these books and videos in the description below. We'll also be exploring important concepts and their corresponding shlokas from each of these books in our upcoming videos. I hope this video gave you an overall understanding of yoga and its guiding texts in Sanskrit language. Share this video across with those whom you think might benefit from this. If you wish to support the production of more videos like these, consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon or make a one-time contribution, all through the links in the description below. Also, consider clicking on the subscribe button and the bell icon beside it so that you're immediately notified of our latest updates. See you in the next video. Namaskaram.